Okay, so this is actually quite a controversial question. Are webinars worth it, and are they worthwhile? So right up front, I've done webinars, and yes, it makes a lot of money when you do it right, like a lot. The amount of work that you put in compared to what you can get out on the back end really is tremendous. I am actually not a fan of them. I don't do them anymore. So, and I want to explain why. When webinars started, they were great because pretty much what would happen is you'd get a 45-minute pitch from whoever's running the webinar, and then at the end they would kind of, give you some special offer to their service. What we actually did was we decided, we did a whole webinar on kind of sales and how to get more sales. And so we actually gave in the webinar every single step. Like, you didn't need to buy our product at the end, which was actually a membership area. You probably understand where this is going now, but you didn't need the membership area. We literally just gave it all to you. The membership area basically had everything that we'd spoken about in a more detailed format in kind of videos and stuff, plus there was also kind of like live training and so forth. The numbers were crazy. I'm not gonna lie. So we ended up spending, the first time we did the webinar, we ended up spending $4,500 on marketing on Facebook, and the webinar generated well, I thought it was 78K, but I think it was actually 82 in the end. So it was $82,000 we generated, cost us $4,500. It had taken me about a day and a half to actually put the webinar together. The membership area probably took about a week of solid building. So, I mean, even if you go 2 weeks worth of work, that was, it's still an incredible ROI. Now, what happened was we immediately put that webinar onto what they call an evergreen. It's pretty much, it will run live on demand. We did that, and that would then bring in, and we toned down the marketing at that point, because people will always tell you this is like, oh well, you made 70K, so you can make 70K every day. It doesn't work that way, because you're basically, the audience that you're pitching to on Facebook kind of gets tired of it. So we ended up, it would still make about probably 10 or 15K a month, and just ongoing, just from repeat business. We completely stopped it. We shut it all down last year, probably middle of last year, really because it wasn't sort of our focus anymore. So yes, webinars work. Here's my problem with them. They are really, really overdone now. Like, just everybody is like, sign up for my webinar, and it's just, it's kind of that old adage of like, when you're in business, you always want to get on the crest of something new. You don't want to be on the back end of it. And the webinar thing now it's difficult, because what happens is that, everybody is like doing it via a webinar, and I'd say probably like 95% of the webinars out there are really bad, and they're just bad quality. They're not really given a lot of thought. That and it gives a bad experience for everybody else. So, I would say if you have a business and you're thinking about doing a webinar, my one advice is give them the entire solution in the webinar. Because here's the thing, and this is my point: the people that want it for free were never going to be your customers. They're never going to pay for it. They're never ever going to involve with you. So, but by giving it away for free, what you're actually doing is you're showing people you really know what you're doing. The reality is, and with webinars, you don't want to be going for a product that's like under like about $700-800. I mean, really, because of the amount it costs to market people and so forth. But if you deliver somebody the entire solution, what you're going to attract are the people that want you to just do it for them. Okay, those are your customers. Those will come through the webinar, and they will end up buying your product at the end. Now, after me saying that I'm not doing any more webinars, we will probably do one in a few months, but it's actually not to sell a service at all. What I'm actually doing is I want to test something where it doesn't have anything to sell at the end. It's purely a training setup. We're not going to pitch to anybody at the end. It's purely we're going to get that information out there. My reason behind it is because, again, I have seen over the years that when you deliver that kind of value, and the difficulty in delivering that level of value to somebody is their attention span doesn't always stay there. And so it's like, if you go to a YouTube video and it's like, it's 45 minutes long, you're not going to sit there and watch it. Your mind isn't adjusted for that type of channel to put out that thing. But when you go to a webinar, you instinctively know that it's going to be 45 minutes to an hour. What we're going to do is base it on the idea of what we do for our national clients, okay? Because these guys get it right. Okay, they spend a lot of money, and I'll tell you right now, what they do is 100% different to what the majority of small businesses do. So that's the idea behind our webinar for that. So I guess what I'm trying to say is webinars can be worth it. They can make you a lot of money. But make no mistake about it, you're going to have to front up your advertising costs for that. Really, if you're spending anything less than a few $1,000s on marketing, it probably won't work. I haven't seen it. Like I said, we spent about it was like 4,700. It was something like that. It wasn't over 5K. It was under 5K, over 4. Basically, the numbers with webinars works like this, okay? You don't want to have less than 100 people in your webinar, okay? Now, in order to do that, here's the thing. If you get 200 people signing up for your webinar, only 100 will turn up at best. Okay, I've seen higher numbers. We saw higher numbers. We also saw a lot lower numbers as well. Look up the days. Wednesdays and Thursdays worked really great for us. We kind of tried both of them. We didn't really see a difference. But here's the thing. You don't want less than 100 people in your room. The reason for that is participation, because if it looks like crickets in the room, it has a knock-on effect and people just kind of drop off. Secondly, at best, you're gonna convert at anywhere between kind of 2 and 8% of your audience. So if you are selling a product, think of it this way. You want to be thinking of like, I need 200 people in my room, okay? Because then that way, if you end up 10%, that would be great. That'd be 20 sales. But if you only make 10 sales, then okay. Those are the kind of numbers you want to look for. Like I said, anything under that, something weird happens as well. We did, this was later on, and what we noticed after about a month or so, we were starting, some of our rooms were like only getting, when we would redo a live one again, we would have like 50 people in there. And genuinely, we would maybe sell 1 or 2 items. So it's like, once you drop below that 100, all the numbers go out the window, like your percentages go wrong. Anything over 100, you can pretty much look to get in like a 10% on your business, on your pitch there. So like I said, if you're gonna do webinars, go for it, give them a try. I personally don't like them because I feel that they're really saturated, and I think there's a lot of marketers out there that have done a lot of really bad ones, and it's spoilt it for everybody else.